Welcome to Career Spotlight presented by Educational Opportunity Centers, EOC. My name is Bill Leonard. I'm an academic specialist with EOC, and I'll be your host on this career exploration and discovery journey. The objective of Career Spotlight is to learn about careers from industry professionals in an effort to educate students and the general public so they can make more informed career decisions. The career we are highlighting today is real estate agent. I'm excited to be joined by Sara Levy, associate broker with Classic Properties. Welcome, Sara.
Hi, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. I know that you are very active in the real estate community in Northeastern PA and in the community at large in and around Scranton. But for those viewers and listeners who don't know you, why don't you take a moment to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks. As Bill said, my name is Sara Levy. I'm an associate broker and a manager at Classic Properties. We are a regional company. We service about 10 counties in the region through 4 offices. I've been a realtor for 15 years this year. I got my real estate license when I was in college, and I started working full-time around 2007 after I graduated college. So this has been my one and only professional career at this point in my life. I played a lot of roles within the industry, just the basic realtor listing and selling, managing, training, a lot of different things. I've been involved in our local board of realtors in leadership there, and have been able to be actively involved locally and in Harrisburg with a lot of things that have happened in our industry over the last 7 or 8 years.
Excellent. Thank you. So let's start with a basic question. What does a real estate agent do, and what are some of their responsibilities?
Okay. Most simply, we list and sell houses. We work with, the general public, buyers and sellers, in a variety of ways, either people, buying or selling residential properties, pieces of land, commercial properties, anything that involves real estate, whether there's an actual building on it or not. We can list and sell. We represent the general public in this, and there's a lot of different elements to it. But most of in this region, most real estate agents work with residential.
Great. And you're an associate broker with Classic Properties. How does that differ from a real estate agent, if at all?
An associate broker is just an educational and an experience level above a real estate agent. You do have to do some additional schooling. You have to have a certain amount of years in the business. You have to have a certain amount of experience and transactions, completed transactions in order to apply for that license. And as an associate broker, you could then manage an office. You can run a company. You can own a company. You can run an office, that type of stuff.
And what was your career path to getting into the real estate industry? What steps did you take?
Well, I took my real estate classes, I believe, after my sophomore year of college, because it was something that interested me. Real estate development in general interests me. I was an English major in college, which everyone says to me, "Oh, so you wanted to be an English teacher?" No, not particularly. I just would rather write a paper than take a test, and I realized pretty quickly that going the path of English classes allowed me to do that, and I felt like it was a general enough skill and field that it could apply in a lot of different places, and I think it has. So I was lucky enough to meet someone when I was in college who's been a mentor to me, who took me under her wing and kind of led me through this career a little bit. And it's certainly, that's not everyone's path. That's probably, it's not the norm. It's a lot of people's second or third career in life. And there's a lot of people too that just do it part-time. So all those different scenarios are possible. It's not something that you need to decide early in life that you're going to do. It's certainly possible to achieve at different points of your life.
And how does someone become a licensed real estate agent? I think that's a very important question. And so are there tests or exams that they have to take and pass?
Yeah, you do have to have a high school diploma or a GED. That is a requirement. And then I believe you have to be 18 too. So once you've accomplished those two things, then you can take your Pennsylvania real estate classes. And there's a lot of different platforms you can do that on. You could do it online. There's a lot of people that do it completely online. There's lots of online schools, and I think it's just a basis of how you retain information best and how you learn best. There's also a lot of schools that do weekend or evening classes at different locations, or you can go like a continuing education route through a university like Penn State, and they offer it in a semester format where you would be going at night over the course of the semester. So there's a lot of options to do it. It could take you a month to do. It can take you 2 years to do. It depends how quickly you want to do it, what format you want to do it in, and what's available at the time. But online or in class are both options.
And I know there's a lot of professions that require like continuing education. So is that something that applies to the real estate industry?
Yes, absolutely. We have to do continuing education and renew our licenses every 2 years. This is actually a renewal year. They were supposed to be renewed at the end of May, but that's been extended until August at this point. So we have to do 14 hours of continuing ed every 2 years. And then every 4 years, I believe we have to be recertified in our ethics training.
Okay. Great. And so can you speak a little bit about like the best part of your job? Like what do you like love about being a real estate agent?
I love being with people. I love being a part of, a monumental part of someone's life, and generally buying or selling a house is. I work with a lot of friends. I work with a lot of family, and I love being, part of that time in their life and helping them through that process because it's not something you do every day. It's not like a car. You don't buy a new car every 2 years or 3. You don't buy a new house every 2 or 3 years. It's something you may only do, once or twice in your life, and it's a huge part of it. And I also like helping people when they have to sell homes, and sometimes it's for good reasons. Sometimes it's, it could be a little emotional for them. So it's just the people interaction, and it's ever changing. We're selling houses, but it's not the same product every single day. Everything's a little different, and I get to see, parts of our region that a lot of people never really venture out to, which is also fun.
Yeah, sure. And I think that real estate appears to be very exciting, and maybe that is something to do with some of the popular shows on HGTV and some of these other channels. But there must be some challenges, right? It can't always be rainbows and sunshine. So what are some of those challenges that either you or a typical real estate agent would face?
There are definitely some challenges. It's not, you could schedule yourself as much as you possibly can, but it is, inconsistent. You can want to work with 4 people every week, but you may not have 4 people, or you may have 10 people one week and no one the next week. So you do have to plan for inconsistencies, I guess is the best way to say it. And as much as you're, part of people's highs of their life, sometimes you're part of the lows of their life too, whether it's, a divorce or a death or something like that. And that could be challenging when it's nice to be part of an emotional part of someone's life, but there's different kinds of emotions involved with it, and sometimes there's disappointment, and I get equally as disappointed for my clients as they are when they don't get the house they want, or they're not able to sell their house for what they would like to or they need to. So there are parts of it we just can't control, and that could be challenging when you want things to happen one way for someone, and no matter how much you plan or how much you try, you can't.
Sure. Talk to us a little bit about like skills that you think are important for real estate agents, so whether those be technology skills or people or soft skills. Like what do you see like the successful real estate agents having? What type of skills?
I think a lot of people try to equate it to sales, and it's not really as salesy as you think it might be. It's really a people profession. We're in a world now where everyone has information at their fingertips. We're not the keeper of the real estate information. We're not the one you come to find out what house is for sale. We're just going to guide you through the process. Most consumers are able to, find out what houses are for sale, what the person paid for it prior. It's amazing. I mean, what people can find online. They even know sometimes, how much someone's mortgage is on a house. And they do their homework. The general public does their homework. So I think the skills are just, being a people person, being able to work with people, being adaptable to different things, being available, being compassionate. Like I said, like there's lots of different scenarios people are in. And I think when you take a sales approach to it and it's not about the people, people don't want to work with that type of realtor. They want to work with someone who is really just helping them meet their goals and helping them, work in their best interest. From a technical standpoint, it's becoming very technology driven, and we've learned this especially in the last 3 weeks. So being able to adapt to change and new technology, and being able to communicate with your customer the way they want to be communicated with is really important. So, you want to be able to hone those different communication and technology skills. So, you can work best with people.
Right. And I think another really important question that a lot of people have is the pay structure for a real estate agent. I think a lot of people probably assume it's 100% based upon like commissions.
Yep.
So like talk to me in general terms, maybe not specific to classic properties, but like how does the pay structure of a real estate agent work?
That is a great question. I'm glad you're asking it, because I do think the pay of a realtor is glamorized a little bit in some of the television shows and different things that are out there. And, they immediately tell you how much money the realtor is going to make if they sell that house. And, I can't help but roll my eyes or change the channel when I see that. Real estate agents work 100% on commission, almost everywhere. And, where their percentage of what they retain falls, I mean, that depends company to company, and there's different types of pay structures, there's different commission structures, there's different business structures depending on what company you work for. But we are not paid to show people houses, we're paid to sell people houses. So it's not a matter of, if I'm out there for, 60 hours a week showing houses, if I don't sell any of those houses, I'm not going to make any money. We're considered independent contractors, which is a big point of discussion right now with everything going on in the economy and unemployment and different things. So we are paid, and we receive a 1099 at the end of the year. So it's up to us to plan for our taxes, to pay our own taxes. We're almost like a little business operating within a business.
Yeah, that's really interesting to know. Thank you so much. So what advice would you give to someone thinking of going into real estate? So whether that be someone in high school, someone in college, or maybe somebody in their 40s who's looking for a career change, like what advice would you give them maybe about research or mentorship, finding a mentor or something along those lines?
Yep, that's another great question. Well, to piggyback on what I just said about how you get paid, it is important when you enter into this field, just like if you were starting your own business, to have a financial plan in place, because it will take some time to make money, and you really want to plan for that. And that's something that good companies out there will help you with, as far as just getting a business plan together. You want to treat it like you're starting your own business. There are some expenses that go along with it, but they're cost of doing business expenses. And so you want to understand what your expenses are in your normal life, and how long it may be until you can start having some kind of cash flow in that respect. It's also really important, and I'll speak from experience, to have good mentors and to have good training available to you. And that comes with, a good company. And there's a lot of great companies out there. And there's a lot of great, training programs out there, because you're going to take a class, you're going to take state and national tests to get your license. None of those things are really going to teach you how to sell real estate. Company you work for, the mentors you work with, they're the people who are going to help guide you through the field and show you how to make connections and how to give good service to your clients. So that's really important. And there's a lot of great companies and people out there that are happy to meet with you and talk to you about this and let you, shadow them and different things to decide if it's a career for you. We tell people, especially if they do have other jobs, you don't necessarily just want to quit your day job on day one. It is a career that you can kind of tiptoe into and learn it, while you're working another job, and then kind of transition in. We have a lot of great agents that have done that and are able to transition from one to the other without, jumping ship on one and jumping headfirst into real estate. If you're able to do that, even better, you'll excel faster if you can put 100% of your effort into it. There's a lot of great agents out there, and they kind of have gotten to their ending point in different paths. So it's not the same path for everyone. And again, it's just a lot about, your people skills and connecting with people and, working outside yourself and working in, for the benefit of other people. And then you'll receive the benefits back from that if you approach it that way.
Yeah, sure. So is there anything that we haven't touched upon about the real estate profession that you'd maybe like to get across to our viewers or listeners?
The one thing I would say to anyone that's interested in it, don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call a realtor or a broker or even a broker you don't know that's in your market or you drive past every day. For the most part, everyone's willing to talk to you and explain it to you and just get all the information you possibly can. I talk to a lot of people every week about careers in real estate, and my goal is always to be as transparent as possible, to give them real information so they can make really good decisions on if it's right for them. And it's not perfect for everyone. You have a lot of people that say, oh, I love to look at houses, or I love to watch HGTV, so I want to be a realtor. Well, I don't know if that's the best reason, but it could be a starting point, because it's a really, really rewarding job and a fulfilling job. It's hard. I'm not going to tell you, it's easy and it's glamorous and we walk around all day and sell $1 million houses and, put 6-figure checks into our pocket. We don't. They do that on TV a lot, but, here in Northeastern PA, that's not necessarily the case. You take the good with the bad a little bit. But just get as much information as you can, talk to different people, get some, feedback right from the field and try to decide if it's the right path for you.
Great. Well, Sara, on behalf of Educational Opportunity Centers, I want to thank you for sharing your knowledge, your experiences, and your passion for real estate. I know I learned a lot, and I'm sure that our viewers and listeners did. So again, thank you so much for sharing your time.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, Bill.
Thanks. Take care, Sara. Bye.